My name is Tina Ketto. I am a Homeworks by Precept consultant and a homeschool mom. We are entering our 8th year homeschooling with BJU Press homeschool materials. We've used a combination of distance learning as well as parent-led, and we just love it. Today I want to talk to you about how we organize our 6th grade distance learning materials. And before I show you my materials and how we have made them work for us, I wanted to give you just a few tips on how to organize your 6th grader and kind of what your goal is in organizing them and helping them to become independent learners. Teach your kids to how to find and use the materials. This may take a little bit of time, but if you teach them how to use the materials and how to read their video lesson guide as well as their assignments, that's really going to help you in the long term. You want your 6th grader to be involved in organizing and maintaining that organization. You've got to keep in mind your end goal, why you are homeschooling. And many times, one of the benefits of homeschooling is teaching kids independence as well as teaching them how to be organized and stay organized. And that's a life skill. And it does not come naturally for all of us, and that's okay. But we do have to find methods that work for us to where we can find materials, and we want our kids to be able to do the same. Be willing to tweak your methods and the way that you organize. Starting in 5th grade, I involved my son in organizing his materials and finding a method that worked for him. I made it clear that 5th grade was going to be a time where he's starting to learn how to be organized, and the expectation was by 6th grade that he is going to have those systems in place and, be able to tweak them as he needs to, but that he can stay organized, and that's worked really well. We've already started our 6th grade year, and it's gone really well, and my son is able to find all of his materials on his own. He's able to be as independent as he can, and it's been a real blessing taking that extra time to teach him that life skill. I'm going to show you now how I organize our 6th grade distance learning materials. We use the distance learning online. Behind me are the 6th grade books. We have the science, heritage studies, handwriting, spelling, Bible truths, math, English, and I think that is all of them, and they're all right behind me there. Now what we do is in my home is when we have a book that comes fully bound, we don't take it apart, we leave it. So 3rd grade, I think, is usually about the last year that you're going to have those open binding books where you can kind of tear the pages off the top real easily. So once those are no longer available, we keep our books intact. The way that we help our kids to get to their work text pages really quickly and easily is to use Post-it notes. Let me show you. This is the Spelling 6, and we don't have one on there yet. Let me pull out the Bible truths. Okay, so this is the 6th grade Bible truths. So we have these removable Post-its. I've used traditional Post-its as well in the past, and they're really great for just being bookmarks basically, and helping my kids to find their page really quickly. And then it's also easy for me to correct their work because I'm able to just open up to where that tab is. When I'm done correcting work, I move it to the next spot. Sometimes we use extra tabs. I know when we did English 5, there's a student handbook in the back, and so we put an extra tab on that student handbook so that when my son needed it, it was really easy for him to find that in the back of his book and to save him time. Here I have the Bible Truths for Christian Growth. I have that tabbed because they're question and answers that our family loves to go over, and it's the basics of our faith, and they're just fabulous. So we keep that tabbed because we like to review that as a family sometimes. And then handouts. Handouts are something that you're going to get with your distance learning, and they're simply papers that the teacher of that course has made to help teach that course more effectively via the distance learning platform. And so in years past, and a lot of times we just put them in a binder. You can put all of them in a really big binder like this, and you could tab them by subject if you would like. We've done that before. You can get individual binders for each subject and just put the handouts in there and divide them more if you would like. What we are doing this year that is working really well is that we're actually using the disc binding system. So this is a disc binding system here, and we bought a high quality disc binding punch, not the cheap one, but really like the top end one, and it punches up to I think 25 pages at a time. And what I love about it is that I'm able to have the benefit of spiral binding, because these books are gonna fold over on themselves just like this. And what I find even better than spiral binding is that these pages are actually movable. So I can use them in lots of different ways, and I can just tear them off like that and put them back in. So we're not really stuck in one specific method that I choose at the beginning of the year. We can tweak things and it still works. The other thing that I like about them is that at the end of the year, I pull off these covers and I take them out. I archive all of our stuff by basically putting everything in a box and labeling it, 5th grade, 2017 to 2018 with the child's name, and we put it in the garage, and that's where it goes. And then the next year I have these covers and I have all the discs, and I don't even have to repurchase anything, and I really like that. I feel like it's a good use of resources for us. So what this is right here is 8 weeks of material. So I put the first quarter of handouts for 6th grade in this one binder, and so that's really helping to cut down on the amount of places that my kid needs to look to find things. And then I've taken these tabs and I've added them in for, the Bible and the handwriting. And same method, we move the tabs as we correct the work. You can either keep all the materials in here, or you can tear them out as you correct them and just put them in a box or something. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. We have found that this has really been great, and my son really likes this method. So the video lesson guides, or the VLGs, I use those as my lesson plans. I have this binder that I've used for many, many years, and this is what I use for myself, and it is all of the video lesson guides that come stapled together. I just put them in the binder, very simple, and then I add my tabs, and those tabs for each subject. And as we progress through the year, I move those tabs. Really easy for me to open up to right where we're at. I've got everything for one kid for the entire year. All my lesson plans are done. Very simple. That is something that I have found really valuable and easy for me to refer to. And you can make one of those out of the handouts. Each of the student handouts come with the video lesson guides as well for each subject. And so you can take those and put those in a binder, and those can be handy for your child as well. Something else that we absolutely love that I started purchasing last year is BJU Press Homeschool sells a ream of lined paper, just like that. It's quite a bit of paper. It's going to definitely last you for a school year. But if you notice, there's no holes in this paper. So what I do is I punch it with my disc binding punch, and then I am able to put that in my kid's notebook. So everything is super compact. I've got, I'm only going to have to do this 4 times this year, and it's still going to keep everything super manageable for my son. And then he's responsible to maintain everything, and he helped design this system, and we have found it really helpful. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you need any tips on organizing or would like to discuss anything, your local Homeworks by Precept consultant is always happy to talk with you. Everybody organizes a little differently, so it's a lot of fun to talk with others and kind of take bits and pieces from what might be helpful from their homeschool and apply it to yours. Happy homeschooling.